Hola, welcome to Will & Ware Games Corner. In this video, I'm going to take a look at a list of MetroidBrainias and try to determine which ones are the better examples of this new and hard to define genre. If you haven't heard the term Metroidbrainia before, it is a combination of the term Metroidvania and brain. It is used to refer to games in which progress is based on knowledge and understanding obtained by the player rather than the character. But importantly, it is knowledge about the game world or game mechanics as a whole rather than just learning the solution to some specific puzzles. And yes, they may contain puzzles, and they usually do, but it's not solving the puzzle that allows you to progress through the game. It is the knowledge you obtain while solving the puzzle. In that way, once you have solved a puzzle in a pure Metroidvania, you would never need to solve it again as long as you remember what you learned, even in later playthroughs. Now, there are a couple of points I feel I need to mention. First, I did not compile this list myself. I found it in tiermaker.com. I was surprised and interested by its contents, and that has prompted this video. Second, I will not be ranking depending on which one is the better game. My ranking will be based on how well the games fit the Metroidbrainia paradigm, how much of the progress is based on knowledge obtained by the player. Finally, I know the term Metroidbrainia is not equally liked and accepted by everyone. I mean, whatever is. However, I personally like it and will be using it throughout the video. And let's jump into the tier maker. First one here is Chants of Senaar. Ooh, Chants of Senaar, a Metroidbrainia. In Chants of Senaar, you have to learn a language, but it's not just you, the player, that needs to learn the language. The character. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Heaven's Vault, which I see is also on the list. Let's start with Heaven's Vault. Is Heaven's Vault a Metroidbrainia? If I remember right, the character needs to learn the language. It's not just you. So to me, it's not really a Metroidbrainia. An amazing game still, totally recommended. It's an amazing experience. I think every game I've played of these developers, I cannot remember how they're called. Inkle. Every game I've played of Inkle has been amazing. Very original. Very innovative. Very interesting. Totally recommend Heaven's Vault. However, I don't rate it high as a Metroidvania. Yeah, I think it's a D. Right now, after having finished Heaven's Vault some time ago, I don't feel I would start the game again and not have to and have some kind of advantage. To me, it's not a great Metroidvania. Now, Chants of Senaar is similar to Heaven's Vault in that it is about learning a language. Differently to Heaven's Vault, I feel like it would be easier to remember important elements of the language. So I think Chants of Senaar is slightly more Metroidvania than Heaven's Vault. It's still not a huge Metroidvania. The character needs to learn. You need to unblock the elements that you need to understand as you play through. No, I'm just going to put this slightly above Heaven's Vault. Antichamber. This is a game with very interesting visuals, usually mostly black and white, where you go with several guns. It's a first-person game. And the main gist of it is that the world doesn't follow usual Euclidean geometry. And you need at every step to find out what to do to keep going. Now, once you have found out what to do, it's true that you will be able to go through the game very quickly. Still, it doesn't bring to me the same idea that I link to Metroidbrainia. You would be able to finish the puzzles quickly. But I'm not sure a puzzle game is a Metroidvania just because it is a puzzle, and once you have solved the puzzle, you can do it again. It's about understanding the game. It's about understanding elements of the game that you did not understand before. And true, the Antichamber has some of that. But no, I don't think I can rate it higher than a C, so it goes to a C too. but before Chants of Senaar. Enigma of Fear. I don't think I know this game. Let's take a look. I'm guessing it's enough for me to try to write down the game, so if I can play it at some point, I will. But I cannot rate it. I just don't know it. So I'm gonna add an extra row, which I'm gonna call unrated in a gray. What do you know about Enigma of Fear? Have you played it? Let me know in the comments. Is it a good Metroidbrainia? Is it a Metroidbrainia? The Roottrees Are Dead. Another lovely game about untangling family tree of the Roottrees. You have to use logic to determine from documents, from different bits of information, who is who and who is related to who in which way. I don't think this is a Metroidbrainia. Again, lovely game. Totally recommended. Not a Metroidbrainia. You can't remember probably everything about it, but the nature of the game, you just know. There are no hidden mechanics you need to understand. Nothing like that. Has to go with Heaven's Vault. It's the least Metroidbrainia of any of these. Fez. Ooh, Fez. Fez is clearly a Metroidbrainia. It starts as a cute platformer, 2D platformer with the gimmick that you can rotate the world. The world is actually 3D, and you can view it in any of 4 different directions. But then you dig deeper, and while playing the game normally doesn't require much, and unearthing the different secrets of this game do include learning things that certainly fall into the Metroidbrainia angle. Now, this game goes out of that and into what I think is almost ARG territory. Some of the final puzzles and things to understand and things to know of Fez, about Fez, are just crazy. Obviously, focus on the community at large, finding and making sense of things. Also, the basics of the game are clearer. So while a Metroidbrainia, I don't think is the best Metroidbrainia. It's a very good game, not the best Metroidbrainia. It's certainly better than Antichamber and Chants of Senaar. I'm gonna place as a B. Her story. Is her story a Metroidbrainia? I don't think so. In her story, you are trying to understand the story about a woman through police videos of interviews and questioning. And you can access those videos by writing keywords. Whenever you write a keyword, you search for videos and you get the 5 more, I think it's 5 more most relevant videos related to that keyword. And that way you need to dig until you think you understand what the story you're looking at. Once you know the story, and the story has twists, obviously. Once you know the story, you could certainly write some keywords and finish the game very quickly. I don't think that is a Metroidvania. Again, that's just a big, very big puzzle, and that's it. Is it different to the Roottrees Are Dead? No, I don't think so. So it also goes into D tier. Hypnospace Outlaw. I haven't played this game yet. In fact, I have played it for half an hour or something like that. At the moment, it didn't look to me to be a Metroidvania, but I cannot tell for certain. So it goes into unrated. I'll come back to it once I've played it. Would you like to see my playthrough in the channel? Let me know. Immortality. Oh. Immortality is from the same Theater. Am I right in saying it's Sam Barlow? Yeah. Immortality is another game from Sam Barlow. After her story, he did, if I remember right, there is another game in the same style, Telling Lies, yes, which doesn't seem to be. Oh yeah, it is in the list. And then Immortality. Similar to her story, you go through videos to understand the story behind 3 films or movies that were created but never released. All of them around the same actress, but in 3 very different times. So, how is that? Why is that actress apparently immortal? You try to find that out. It is, however, more of a metroidbrainia than her story, because there are mechanics that you do find out and you will certainly not forget about for next playthroughs. Is not huge metroidbrainia. Also, I don't think it's metroidbrainia, but it has some elements of metroidbrainia. I'm gonna place in the C. I'm gonna place it above Antichamber and Chants of Senaar. All of these, by the way, certainly have in common that these are all amazing games. Any game you haven't played in this list, I fully recommend you go out and play them. I'm trying to be tight-lipped around the spoilers here. Now, games I cannot spoil are La Mulana and La Mulana 2, because I haven't played them enough. I have played a bit. I found very, very punishing, very hard games. I know they have a lot of metroidbrainia elements, but I cannot rate them. Leap Year, another game I haven't played. I added this one to my wish list recently, but yeah, I cannot say anything about it. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, one of my favorite games from last year. I want to say last year. Yeah, 2024. An amazing puzzle game. Very atmospheric, very mysterious, very hard to explain to. You are going to a hotel. It's hard to say anything without risking spoilers now. Is it a Metroidvania? I don't think so. It's just another puzzle game. It's an amazing puzzle game. And the puzzles are integrated into the world in a fantastic way, like layers and layers of puzzles. But it's not a Metroidvania. It's less than Heaven's Vault. Maybe more than her story, slightly more. There are some mechanics that you can understand better the second time, but it's not really that kind of game. Noita, another game I don't know of. This is going great for me because now I have several games on my list to be played. Now, looking at Steam, Noita is a magical action roguelite where every pixel is physically simulated. You create yourself spells. Don't see how this could be a Metroidvania. But I cannot, in fairness, just based on the Steam description, so it goes to unrated. Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is the Metroidvania game. More than any other, Outer Wilds is about you, the player, learning about the solar system in which the game is set. Outer Wilds is also one of the best video games ever created, in my opinion. Outer Wilds makes me really wish being able to just delete part of my memory so I could play it again without knowing anything about it. Outer Wilds is without a doubt an S tier Metroidbrainia. It's the epitome of all Metroidbrainias. Rainwall. You are a nomadic slug cat, both predator and prey in a broken ecosystem. Doesn't reach to me as being a Metroidbrainia, but again, I cannot rate it, so it goes to unrated. Return of the Obra Dinn. Oh. Is this a Metroidbrainia? In Return of the Obra Dinn, which is an amazing 2018 already, 7 years old, 2018 game by Lucas Pope. You are an insurance investigator that go on board the Obra Dinn, a boat that has come back to port with everyone aboard dead. And you have a magical compass or clock, magical clock, that allows you see the final moments of any corpse you find. And with that, and a list of the tripulation, a couple of paintings of the tripulation, you have to identify everyone in the tripulation, how they died, who killed them, and it is amazing. It's one of the best logic games ever created, without any doubt. That is not a Metroidvania. It is not. It's just an amazing puzzle game. Once you know the answers, you will remember some of them. It's not it's not a Metroidvania. I'm gonna say it's less of a Metroidvania than others even. Riven, the sequel to Myst. Oh, memories. I got Riven for my birthday long time ago. In all the glory of the old CD games boxes. 5 CDs for Riven. Riven, there are 5 files, 5 islands. Every time you change from one island to another, you had to change the CD. What a game. Graphics never before seen that time. And a game hard. Incredibly hard. Before internet times, before being able to find a solution anywhere. Trying to even understand what Riven was asking of you was difficult. With time, I was able to understand that Riven was basically one, maybe 2 puzzles, expanding the whole game. However, as I said, just being a puzzle doesn't make it a Metroidvania. I don't think I would say Riven is a Metroidvania game, but it does include learning about the game, the world, in a similar way as Outer Wilds does. And I will always remember when I realized that an artifact I was using was actually an object to help children learn the numbers, learn to count, how to write the numbers, and that the place I was at was actually a classroom. Just because of that, I'm gonna place it. Riven deserves a B. Telling Lies. Telling Lies is, as I mentioned, the follow-up to her story and the game preceding Immortality. Not that these games are sequels one of another, they're more of a spiritual sequels. They follow the same pattern. In telling lies, you are also unlocking videos by keywords. I don't think telling lies has any difference to her story in its metroidbrainianess. I'm just gonna place it there. Mortality is the best of the three, and her story than telling lies. The Forgotten City. The Forgotten City. I've played this game. I know it started as a mod for a game, maybe Skyrim. I'm not sure, but then they created it as a standalone game. You find an old Roman city underground, and you find that you cannot escape it anymore once you are there, and that the time is looping, and you have to understand why and how to break the loop. In many ways, if you have watched Groundhog Day, it's like that. I cannot fully remember how progress was gated in the game, but I do think it was mostly about learning where to go, what to do, who to talk to. So that would place it as a full Metroidvania for certain. There it goes. It's not Outer Wilds material, but it's certainly more than Fez, more than Riven. The Witness is an amazing puzzle game. 2016, created by Jonathan Blow. In The Witness, you are in an island full of puzzles. You don't know how puzzles work. You need to learn the rules for the puzzles, advance through the game. I think it is fair to call it a Metroidvania, because it's not just that you learn the solutions to the puzzles, you have to learn the rules themselves and things that you can do in the island. So yeah, I think that's a proper full Metroidvania. Is it better than The Forgotten City as a Metroidvania? I think so. It's more about the mechanics. Toki Tori 2. I've heard that Toki Tori 2 is actually a Metroidvania. I played Toki Tori 1 on the Wii, and it was not a Metroidvania. Similar to Lost Vikings, similar to Lemmings. I've heard that Toki Tori 2 is actually a Metroidvania, and I have it on my backlog. I haven't played it. I cannot rate it. Myst. Video game royalty here. One of the first games on CD. At least one of the first games to make good of the promise of what a CD game could be. An island that connects you to several worlds. Every world has several puzzles. In every case, there are things you can learn about the islands. How much of is solving a puzzle and how much is learning about the world. Much as Riven. I feel Riven has more learning about the world in outside of puzzles than Myst. But Myst has more of. Does it have more than Antichamber, Chants of Senaar? No, I think it goes into B, but behind Riven. Tunic, basically, Outer Wilds and Tunic are the MetroidBrainias. They are the two games that defined the genre and are also best examples of it. Tunic is a very cute game based or inspired by games like Zelda. Part of the game itself is picking up the different pages of the game manual. But the game manual is not on a language you can understand. You have to make sense of the rules step by step, learn what you can do, what you should be doing, and how the world works. Towards the end, Tunic also goes like Fez, a bit ARG. Some of the final potential puzzles are very hard to solve. I think not something you can do from within the game without the community support. That doesn't change the fact that everything else, the experience of Tunic, of understanding the world, playing it, of getting the different pages from the manual and making sense of them is amazing. Another 10 out of 10 game and another S tier Metroidvania. Ultros. I don't know Ultros. It doesn't even ring a bell, Ultros. Ultros is a psychedelic Metroidvania where you wake up stranded on the sarcophagus, a cosmic uterus holding an ancient demonic being. Trapped in the loop of a black hole, you will have to explore the sarcophagus and meet its inhabitants to understand the part you play. This looks very interesting. Okay, wishlist. There is a demo too. Well, a promising game, but unrated as of now. Animal Well. Animal Well is a recent game, 2D platformer. Hard to describe, but you are going through different areas of the world with different animals. It has a lot of metroidbrainia elements, things, function, how the world works, what you can do, how what you do affects the world. So yeah, I think this is valid metroidbrainia. Now, is it Outer Wilds or Tunic level? I think it's more metroidbrainia than The Witness or The Forgotten City. There is more to learn about how the world works. So yes, I no, I cannot. I don't feel like I can place it at the same level as Outer Wilds or Tunic. I place it at the beginning of the A tier. Boy the Stranger. I have played quite a bit of Boy the Stranger. I think there are still a lot of things I need to discover about Boy the Stranger. I suspect there is a lot you can learn about the game itself. At the point I am, it would certainly be an A level Metroidvania. I'll rate it with my current level of play. Let me know. Do you think Way the Stranger is more Metroidvania than this? I'll be very interested. Finally, Overboard. Overboard is another game from Inkle, very original game. It's a inverse whodunit game where you are the culprit. You're a woman, you have killed your husband on a transatlantic journey. Game is how do you avoid being discovered before you arrive to port. It's a very good game. I just don't think it's a Metroidvania in any sense of the word for me. So again, it goes right to the bottom. I think this is the least Metroidvania of all of this. And that's it. I feel as if this is missing some games. For example, Blueprints. Blueprints, while not an S tier Metroidvania, because progress is not certainly limited to your knowledge, huge elements of it. Certainly as many or more than The Witness, even more than Animal Well. Now, do I think it's good enough to go to the S tier? I love Blueprints, my game of the year, my game of several years. Doesn't mean it's the best Metroidvania. It has a lot of other mechanics that are explained to you. Now, I think it can go there perfectly well. There's also, if The Witness is here, it would be unfair not to include Taiji, because Taiji is basically like The Witness. A 2D game, smaller, but it's very close to The Witness. It's understanding rules, understanding the world a bit. I'm gonna place it exactly as The Witness. Similarly, given that we have The Witness, I think it would be fair to also include The Looker, which is a small parody game of The Witness. It's very short. It may be free. I think it may be free. If you haven't played it and you like The Witness, I would say go ahead and play The Looker. It's fun and it's also worth it with some of the puzzles it has. Yeah, I also go in here, The Looker. That's all for this video. Please let me know if you know any other games that are even remotely similar to this that could fit as Metroidbrainas that are not in this list. Please let me know. This is my new favorite genre of game, so I am interested in playing any game similar to this that I am not aware of. So please leave me a comment if you know of any other games like this. Thank you for watching. Remember, did you like this? Go on, subscribe. But anyway, thank you, and I will see you on the next one in William Ware Games Corner. Goodbye.